Welcome, welcome, everybody. Book club. We are doing. Hey, Lyle, I'll give you that wrench, man. There you go, brother. We are doing Justice League of America versus Avengers #1, and the man that picked the book this week was our own D. Runk. So
Yeah,
me,
that's
I liked it.
Matt, the mathematician, and Alan,
Mm-hmm.
the comic collector, will be reviewing D's book right here.
When
yeah.
did this book come out, D? Just quickly.
This was 2003,
Wow.
and it's a wraparound cover. So you got all sorts of Marvel, DC characters here, and you can tell that they're all looking up at something in horror. They don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
It's not good.
Okay, I'm curious. Did two different artists work on that cover? Because the back doesn't look like Perez's style at all.
Yeah, it does.
Not with the hair on the Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch looks a little weird, but yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you look at Wonder Woman.
She has
yeah,
the
but
same
Wonder
hair, yeah.
Woman's hair is always curly like that. Hers not so much. Hers is usually straight coming down. That's why I was surprised.
I think
Well,
Perez.
no,
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I think he drew a character he's not always used to drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a kick out of seeing Adam with Wasp. I thought that was kind of cool. That was my favorite part of the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, they mix them all together. Yeah.
Well, I'll get into the story here. It starts off with, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I think they went to like a made up place just for the story. You guys
No,
know of
the
these characters in the beginning
Well,
of
we
the
were
book?
discussing it before you came on. The girl is
Yeah.
Thundra. She's been around.
I'm done.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think that's
so-
the only one we recognize. We actually talked about that before you got here.
Yeah,
It was
I
pretty
thought it was
unrecognizable.
Conan at first, but no.
Yeah, I thought it was Conan at first too, but then they sort of say who they are.
Yeah. So, well, basically, the city is like always at war, and this dude just conquered everything, and they're getting ready to celebrate. He gets like a notification saying, "Hey, shit ain't going good," and he looks out on his balcony. He sees these eyes just peering down at the world, and this little purple box right here. What is it? What is the secret? Tell me the truth. Tell me. Tell me. And basically, he's trying to figure out something. You don't know what it is yet. And when he doesn't get the answer, he just obliterates the entire universe. So this entire universe just went whoop, and it's gone now. Pretty crazy. So this next scene, they're on a Quard, the weaponers planet, and you're wondering what the hell is happening, and you find out the crime syndicate from Earth 3 is like wrecking shop over there. Ooh.
I love
Hold on. Yeah, so they're wrecking shop, and they're just fucking up
These are all
everything.
the evil Justice League, right?
Yep.
Yes, they're the one. The
So they're really proud of themselves. They're kind of excited because it's like more of a fight than they're used to, but they're obviously winning. But then all of a sudden, those eyes appear, and it just obliterates the entire universe again. So, not good. And you find out this is a story from DC and Marvel Comics. A journey into mystery.
you wonder where they
So
got
kind of,
that.
yeah, no, it's good. So then the story really starts off with God, what's his name? Grandmaster. He's sitting there looking at a planet that's about to develop, and it's like he's got a bet going, and he's just a few seconds away from finding out if he won or lost the bet. And then all of a sudden, these eyes appear, and they start asking him like, "Hey, tell me the answers." But Grandmaster's super fucking powerful. So he's able to actually kind of like stop him in his tracks a little bit, not defeat him, but like get him to like not destroy everything. and you find out it's Kronos, and he's looking, or Krona, and he's looking to. He wants to know the truth, and he's not going to be denied. He's being really clear about this. He wants answers. The next scene you got God, who are they fighting?
They're fighting some weird cyber or robot-y guy.
Oh yeah, it's a robot named Terminus is here,
Terminus, yeah.
and that's a Marvel Comics character, but he's fighting the Justice League. He went to
Yeah.
Earth One,
Wasn't
and
Terminus in the new X-Men series?
I
Is that
don't
right
know.
or not?
Not the cartoon, he wasn't.
Okay. Because I thought the three-headed robot thingy.
Yeah, no, that this is not a Sentinel.
Okay. Terminus.
So
Okay.
basically, they're fighting this motherfucker. Goes on for a little bit. Nothing too special happens. Eventually, Green Lantern figures out how to put like a tube around his weapon that just fires the energy right back at him, and it fucks him up. So Hal Jordan pops up, the Spectre, who's Hal Jordan is the Spectre at this time. And he's like, "Hey, this dude doesn't even belong here. I'll get rid of this for you. Don't worry about a thing, y'all."
So how did
Gets
wait,
rid
I was a little bit confused by that part. So Hal Jordan becomes the Spectre?
Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
Okay, it has to do with that. Okay, just I'll take half a minute here. That Superman 80 book we reviewed last week, where Coast City was destroyed, turned Hal nuts. He ended up being parallax for a while, and then after that became the Spectre in order to what's the word?
Redeem himself?
Redeem. Thank you. Redeem. I'm thinking 12 steps. Redemption.
We gotta go through 11 more.
Yeah, and then that is the result of saving them from the final night. He becomes a Spectre.
That's fun. It's funny. Good thing we read Superman 80, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, it is. It actually kind of related here. So,
this is
so
at a
then,
time when I wasn't reading comics. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't. This is like a weird time period, right? I was raising a family.
So the next splash page you get, Starro from DC is attacking New York City. Yeah, he's attacking the New York in the Avengers universe.
Probably best panel
I
of the
thought that was
book.
pretty cool,
One of
actually.
the best, yeah.
Yeah. And
Starro is awesome.
She-Hulk has been affected, and
I thought that was funny. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And then eventually they get Thor, which is not good.
Everyone's like, oh no, not Thor.
Yeah. But eventually Vision figures it out, and he gets Wanda to Scarlet Witch to take on the starfish, and she's able to like overwhelm it and basically just jettison it out of the earth, and all the starfish fall off their faces, and but yeah, it's a sign of weird times. Like they figured out it's not from this reality.
Yeah,
and
what I like
Starro knew that it wasn't from that reality. So it was kind of interesting.
What I liked in particular about this sequence was Wanda brought up it tastes like crap. It's the kind of stuff that you never think of in comics because no one ever talks about it. It's like they just move on to the next scene. I like that a little bit of extra.
So then the Avengers are kind of like watching shit unfold, and you see Lobo. He's attacking the Shi'ar Empire, and they just see intruders all over the place. The next panel, you see the Flash. He's got a piece of that Terminus robot, and he's able to like figure out the vibrational pattern to like get to his universe. And he comes over to Marvel. He's in Marvel's universe right now. He's in this weird little town. And then all of a sudden, he sees these locals in the town are chasing down a mutant. And he wants to help the mutant. He tries to run, but he trips right away because the Speed Force is
It's
not
not there.
in this. Yeah, it's not in that world. And here you've got basically the DC people are trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. There's more and more creatures and beings coming into their world. And then all of a sudden, boom, they got the Watcher staring into their fucking watchtower. They're like, what the fuck, bro? Come on out here. And they want to fight him. And then the Grandmaster shows up. And he really just kind of spills the beans. He's like, hey, the Watcher, he's not a threat. He's just kind of looking. He's a little bit of a perv like that.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah. And he explains that their universe is in peril. And there's these 12 items, 6 from DC, 6 from Marvel, that need to get collected. And if whoever collects the most, their universe will live. And they ask good questions like, "Hey, what are y'all gonna fucking do with that shit when we collect it for you?" He's like, "I'm not gonna tell you." Then he
It's
disappears.
a typical almost Dungeons and Dragons situation.
I do like all the callbacks here. You've got the bell, you've got the bell,
the Spear of Destiny.
The Spear of Destiny, but like the top there, those were the 3 demons there. The wheel, the bell, and the jug or whatever. You've got the orb that transformed Metamorpho. All that other it's really cool.
No, it's fun. And so yeah, they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. And the Flash says, "Hey, y'all, I can't go over to that other universe, but I can send you there. Take the Atom with you." And they go to that other universe. Here you see the Avengers are trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. They're a little confused. They're struggling with it. And then all of a sudden you see DC characters. They're kind of in the Green Lantern light. You see them. They see Doom.
Well, they're doing a surveillance and they're checking out all the different areas of Earth.
Yeah, they see Hulk, Punisher. He's shooting people up. And then man, they're talking about strategy, like what they need to find, and they have a location for all the items that they need to get. So they're trying to find it. All these monsters come out and they start fighting them.
Fang Foom and all those ones.
Yeah. So now they're just battling the monsters.
It was fun to see the JLA against a bunch of Kirby monsters. It was good.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
And then that's where they first kind of interact. They almost have the ultimate nullifier. And then all of a sudden, a Hawkeye arrow fucking blasted out of Martian Manhunter's hands. Which
Wonder Woman grabs it anyways.
Yeah. And then they've got it.
I love that.
A lot of text here, but they're Vision here.
What I'm surprised by is they called in all the reserves, and my understanding is Reed Richards and Susan Richards are reserve members of the Avengers, as well as being, at least back then, as well as being Fantastic Four members. I'm surprised because Reed Richards would be the one I would be calling to find out what was going on.
Yeah. So here is where Metron comes in, and he kind of does for the Marvel characters what Grandmaster did for DC. Starts explaining to them what's at stake.
The same character, like Grandmaster and Metron?
Not really.
Metron's more like the Watcher, but he does intervene once in a while.
I'm not familiar with that character actually.
Yeah. He's more like part of the Apocalypse, New Genesis, the Kirby universe for DC.
What he does is basically make sure neither side gets too much of an advantage.
Yeah. And he tells the Avengers, hey, you all got to collect this shit. You want it, or else your universe is going to die. They're like, oh, right on, bro.
So the Grandmaster, by the way, is the same Grandmaster from the Thor movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, they portrayed him a little
I
more
didn't realize he was
goofy.
that powerful. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
well,
went
they
so
didn't portray
goofy
him
with him.
as powerful in the Thor movie.
Mhm.
But yeah, so here the Avengers are talking about, hey, let's gear up, let's go get the shit. They pop through a portal. They're getting ready to do some shit.
I love that Metron gives them a mother box.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's cool.
because the Flash was able to get the DC characters where they needed to go, but Marvel didn't have that capability.
The
No.
mother box is the only way.
So and then here, so I kind of skimmed over it, but the DC characters when they were observing the Marvel universe, they kind of noticed that Marvel was really dark, and a lot of it's
A lot
kind of
of damage.
hopeless.
A
Yeah, a
lot of
lot of
damage done.
hopelessness. The feeling isn't good. And then when Marvel comes to DC, they're like, oh, the heroes here are
Or
worshipped
beloved.
like gods. They're kind of like
Yeah.
subjugating everyone. They're above all their people.
Yeah, and it really seemed like Captain America got annoyed by it. That he thought something nefarious was going on with the superheroes in that world, and
Yeah,
Superman felt like the superheroes were nefarious in the Marvel world. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they both,
Like
those two of all of them
So,
got the worst opinions of it.
so, Captain America says, "Justice. This isn't justice. Look around. This is their city. It wasn't built by men. They must own this world like little tin gods, demanding the public's adoration instead of protecting its freedoms. Don't you feel it? It's sour. It's wrong." And then like Wanda's like, "Cap, are you okay?" And then
Yeah,
the next page, you've got the encounter where they're like fully meeting each other.
Yeah.
And they're just really kind of
I
Superman starts laying it on them, and
I love too that this is the time period where Aquaman had lost his hand and replaced it with a trident.
oh, I hate that. I noticed that too. I was like, oh no, I didn't like the fact that he lost his hand.
yeah. So right here, like Superman really starts like digging into him, like cussing him out, and then Plastic Man like, is it just me or is Big Blue laying it on a little thick? So kind of like what you said, Alan. Like Superman and Cap were both very, very disturbed by the other universe, and then as they're grandstanding a little bit, Thor is just like fuck this, and just wallops Superman with Mjolnir, just crushes his ass. Um, which is a great fucking page, by the way.
And
Well,
Mjolnir would actually hurt Superman because it's
yes,
magic,
because it's
right?
magic. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and here next page, you start to find out more about what is really going on behind the scenes. You find out what Krona's talking about. He's basically wanting to see what happens before the Big Bang. Is really the translation of it all. He looked back in time. He saw this hand reaching through a portal. He wants to know what the fuck it is. And those are the answers he's trying to find. And here they're discussing their terms and what's going to happen if they lose. And yeah, man, it's
don't remember those 2 pages. Sorry,
oh yeah. Now you got the last 2 pages.
I didn't see it in the online version.
Oh, okay.
Am I
Well, maybe.
mistaken?
Maybe that's the second book.
Am I mistaken?
Well, the
Matt?
second book. Oh no! Hey, hold on. No, you're right.
Yeah, it ended with the hammer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it ended here. I'm sorry, my bad. My graphic novel
Yeah.
breaks
I
it
was
up.
like, oh man, I don't remember those pages. I'm like,
Yeah.
The way that
So
it
yeah.
ended in the online version was that Adam sort of listening in on the game master and the other dude.
Oh, okay.
Talking
So
about that they're
Yeah,
it ended on this page.
it ended on that page.
yeah, that
Oh,
page,
my
that
fault.
page.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Adam was the last panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next page says prologue, the recent past. So yeah, it
Okay.
ended
So I
with
was like a
yeah.
little
No,
confused there for a second.
you're dead right. So yeah, hey, that's a really complicated story to like try and like break down and articulate. Like it's a lot of reading, but to me, I think it does a
Yeah.
great job of
It's
uh
a great concept.
yeah, I love the story. So hey, I'll just start giving my grades. I I'm gonna give the cover a 4. I love the wraparound nature. I love George Perez's art style. I love that they all look like they're kind of afraid of something. It's just cool to see. Like right here, you got Thor, Iron Man, Batman, Superman,
They're all
Wonder
mixed together
Woman.
too, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
Captain America, Atom, Wasp, all in one front cover.
It's
Um,
interesting that they chose to do it that way. Like they could have easily had it where Justice League was on one side
Yeah.
and then Avengers on the other, but they chose to mix them together, which is interesting.
yeah. So yeah, I give the cover a 4. The interior art, um, man, I also give that a 4. Like that to me, there's so much happening, and you, I never get to a point where I'm like, oh, that art is weird. Oh, that they didn't do that very good. Like they get a lot of detail in there. They tell a lot of story. Um, and like so yeah, that art is a 4. Um, now it's hard for me to grade the one book for the story that's inside the one book because I know the entire story really well. But I'm just going to stick with my law of averages. I'm going to go with another 4 for the interior story, and I'm going to say that overall I give it a 4.
Okay.
Seems-
So the
seems
story
fair.
gets a 4, and the overall gets a
Everything
4.
gets a 4. Everything gets a 4.
Yeah, I'm going 4 across the board.
Who's the
So
writer?
Mm. That is Kurt Busiek.
And
or music.
Did he? Oh, sorry.
and
Go
all
ahead.
the artwork was done by Perez, right?
Yeah.
So
Did
this
Kurt,
week we're going. Go ahead, Matt. What?
did Kurt work for both companies? He seems very familiar with all the characters.
Well, I think with if you're writing for Marvel and you really care about comics, you probably know a good amount about DC.
I imagine.
Like real like there are a lot of people out there that have their preference one or the other. But when it comes down to it, you kind of know a lot about both. So I think, but here's the deal: like Perez could have consulted on some of the DC stuff. But yeah, it's I like it a lot. So Biggie, I think you're about to announce like who picks
Yeah.
the next
Uh,
reviewer.
so this week from now on, the person that picks the book gets to pick the path that it is reviewed. So you'll pick who does it next, then you pick the next, and the next. So who would you like to have this week?
I'm gonna go with Matt.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not
Well, it is my
familiar with
turn.
Kurt Busiek that much, but didn't seem to even matter to me too much. But thank you, D. Let's see what Matt's got to say.
Oh, I really like this. Like it looked like to me it was like these people are good, talented people that worked with a bunch of characters. It's obvious they liked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, because I want to read the whole thing. I really liked. I can't find the only thing that I find hard is because I don't have the whole story yet. But I am intrigued and I want to see the whole story. I think that as a setup book, this has done its job. It's really done well. There's a lot across the board that is just done fantastic. It's really hard. I mean, like the only thing is, I think that I think it was unnecessary to show all of the violence that the crime syndicate was doing. Be if you were just going to kill them off, just show them as a fight. Because like you see one guy basically breaking the back of another guy, and that's what Ultraman's doing, and the Owl Man has got
I'd push back on that, but yeah. I
well,
think
no, it's just me. What I'm saying is, it felt like this is like panels to fill panels on that part only. They could have swept that up a lot quicker.
all right.
Like they did with the Conan guy. They did him in less, like they did that in a page and a half. It took 3 pages to do the crime syndicate.
Well, no, it literally was only 2.
It was 2 pages, yeah. It wasn't that much.
I thought
I
it was
thinking.
My apologies. It still
Yeah,
felt, but
yeah, there's a lot of text in there, and there's a lot of panels, but it is only 2 pages.
okay. Well, for the cover, anything George Perez automatically gets a 4 minimum.
Jesus,
But it's because I love Perez. I've had the pleasure of getting to meet him. I found him to be an absolute awesome person, very chatty when I met him. So, but also his work is like he's in my top 5 artists for sure. So I would give the cover a 4.5.
Ooh.
I give the interior art a 4.7.
Hold on, slow down. You said 4.5 for
the cover.
Okay, I heard 4, but I was just jumping the gun. I'm sorry.
No, I said it was minimum 4 because it's George Perez.
I jumped the gun.
Yep. And I will say the same on the interior, but I'll give the interior a 4.75 because whoever was inking on Perez's pencils, whether it was him or somebody else, did an awesome job as well. I mean, you had no issues going, where are they between the text and what and the picture. Like it puts Latvia. Well, I mean, Dr. Doom notwithstanding, the background was Latvia, like Varia, whatever, so like there was no question that the continuity wasn't followed. They had everything down. They did he did Kyle Rayner Green Lantern really well, and he drew the Spectre really. Like this is Perez's team books. This is Perez's wheelhouse, and he did a great job. So 4.75 for the art. The writing gets a 4, only because I know it's the setup part. Once we get going, I'll bet you it's even better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give it a 4, and overall, I'm giving the book a 4.5.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. I picked a good one.
And I'm excited. I really would like to read the rest of this.
Okay. All right. Well, D, who's your next victim?
You always wind up going last, so I'm going to have you go next.
Oh, okay. Fun enough. Fair enough. Well, so I hate to be the fucking party pooper here, but I'm not a big.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Alan go next.
Okay.
I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
Fucking 4 for this cover.
Sure.
I have a problem with like the faces, dude.
It's a certain style. Yeah.
It's a lot of similarities. It's a lot of like the neck veins on Superman. That's not natural. The nose on Cap, it don't look good. The fucking Wonder Woman is okay. Scarlet's okay. I think here it is. I'll give you what I say. So this made me reevaluate the DC versus Marvel series because I always said this one was better. I'm starting to wonder, like, did I just maybe jump the gun and just go with what everybody else is saying? Because I think I might like that because it's a little bit more simplistic. This shit's a little confusing to me. Maybe I'll understand it more once I read it all. But for the first issue, I was just left like, what the fuck is going on exactly? I guess I don't know enough about comics like y'all do. But so Perez, for me, his artistic style I like. is whenever there's like a bunch of like a splash page
He
with a
does a
bunch of
lot of detail things. Yeah.
Yeah.
little figures, like little
Yeah.
people there, little shit. Like whenever he zoomed in on stuff, like this shit right here.
Isn't as good.
So hold on.
I can see what you're thinking.
Yeah, this guy with the neck right here. That shit don't look good to me. That looks very bad. I'm like, why is his neck so long? Why does it look like shit? The girl even.
He's good when he doesn't have to be detailed. Is the thing.
Yeah, that like hokey smile on the girl's face looks very amateurish to me. Now the girl naked, that's okay from the back. The planetary stars and shit. That looks really good. The city right there, it looks good. This thing right here, I didn't know what was in the first beginning. I've heard of Thundra, not super familiar with her, but it's a weird place to start for me. This stuff gets a little cooler. I like the crazy eyes on this guy. I like the way they look pretty good. The action,
Ultraman, I find that Ultraman, the way he's written, makes Homelander look sane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultraman's pretty evil.
this stuff's pretty good. It's not the worst. Way too wordy. Way too explanatory. It's explaining and talking and blathering on and not really getting anywhere. It's too mysterious for as many fucking words as there are. They could have killed half. They didn't need half these panels, in my opinion. They're just blabbering to blabber. I feel. I like a direct story where I understand where shit's going. Now, there was some fun stuff. Superman is definitely my favorite part of the book. Superman was kicking ass, and I appreciate that. I feel like you already could tell Superman is stronger than anybody in the book that's a hero. Now the Spectre, Green Lantern, he might be pretty tough to fuck with, but Plastic Man was way too cartoony. I know that's the way he was back then or whatever, but
He's still that way to this day.
yeah, it's just too hokey for me. I can't take
I
it
was gonna
serious.
say.
Way too hokey.
He's not- I think he's
I
comic
have to
relief.
ask Alan, as the only person who's probably read Plastic Man Golden Age, was he that wacky back then?
He was
Or
stronger
He's
back
always
in the Golden
wacky.
Age.
He's always wacky.
No, but in the
Okay.
Golden Age, they took him a little more serious because they thought he might be one of the strongest characters there were. Like Plastic Man was a lot. Am I wrong?
No, he was always goofy.
He was
always
goofy,
big.
but I would think he was more of a serious person. Whatever. I always heard when Plastic Man came out, they're like, "Damn, he's almost like Superman level." But
Well, he
Right.
was the first real one with like powers, like other than Superman. Like a
Yeah,
lot
stretchy
of them,
powers, especially.
Yeah, it was kind of a unique idea.
so the story was, like I said, a little too wordy. It's a big book, so I kind of expected it to take a while. I had to read over a few parts to try to make sense of it, so I didn't look stupid on here. But Dee explained it really fucking well. I think I'm just going to jump into my scores. I did love this panel. I like the panels like this shit right here, the big splash.
And
Some-
seeing the Kirby monsters was fun, I thought.
that was fun, and the one I said earlier with the Starro was my two favorite things. So
Yeah, I really liked the Starro part actually.
yeah,
They couldn't, I honestly thought that they couldn't have picked a better villain to begin with. The Starro was the perfect choice.
it felt like Starro was DC's test, and then the monsters was Marvel's, and DC went through Marvel's part easier than Marvel went through DC's. I guess is the way I'd
Yeah.
look at it. All right, so my scores for the cover, I'm going 2.5. I'm sorry, not my cup of tea. Very, very plain Jane. Nothing super special about it to me. I'll give it a 2.75. Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go 2.5. Inside art was better than cover for me. I'm gonna go. I'll go 3.25 because there is some skill there. There is some skill there, and a lot of it. And the worst of it, I mean, there's so much stuff going on that the good overweighed the bad. So for the story, I'm gonna go 2.5 average. It's not mind blowing. It's nothing to write home about for me. And for the overall, like I said earlier, like this is making me reevaluate. Maybe I will like DC versus Marvel better because thinking back, like the worst issue was Robin and Superboy. I kind of enjoyed the rest of them. So I'm starting to think I might like DC Marvel more than this. Now I know this is worth more money. Maybe that's what made me
Is this
evaluate
one
this
worth more
better.
money?
Oh yeah, than the DC Marvel shit.
Oh,
Yeah, these books are worth more. But they've always been regarded as better. It's just my opinion. So for the overall, I'm going to go with a 3. That's my scores.
okay.
Not too bad.
When you get to the end of it, you'll realize why it's a better story.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. I decide that Alan will go next.
Oh, thank you, D. Uh, so yeah, so okay, I actually really liked this book. I thought it was well done. I actually read the other series, not this series before, where they had the crossovers. Um, this one was interesting. I felt like there was actually multiple layers to it. So we got the very beginning is the layer is you got the eyes, whatever that is. These eyes are floating in the sky. They're wiping out universes, and they seem to be wiping out universes based on like almost nostalgia. I almost feel like it's like saying, here's some nostalgic characters and situations, and and it's a way of like playing on the member berries of the audience in a way, and then having it wiped out, which is kind of cool in a way. So so they have that layer at the beginning. So that's the overarching story. Is this what is these eyes all about? How are the heroes that are like, it's coming to our universe. So it's almost like the member berries. We don't really know this first story that well. It's like Thunder, not really big one. Then it goes into a more obscure DC one with the in like the reverse or whatever they're called, the
The
Injustice
Crime Syndicate.
Society, the Crime Syndicate, yeah,
Yeah.
Crime Syndicate, and then so we're gradually getting more and more close to home,
And
and
also the
we're
fact they were
it's almost
fighting
like,
in Cord. Cord is the antimatter universe that in DC. So that was an
yeah,
interesting.
there's always the crossovers happening.
Yeah.
So the point is, like, you're getting that feeling that, oh, this is getting close to home. Are they going to destroy the universe that we love, that the main universes? And that was kind of an interesting little setup that they were doing. The next thing that was happening, it's going that way, and then all of a sudden it stops with Grandmaster. Grandmaster puts a halt to this collapsing of all universes,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize how powerful Grandmaster was. I'm thinking of him from the movie, and he's kind of a hokey character. So I was actually impressed that all of a sudden
I read an article not too long ago about the 10 most powerful Marvel characters, and they were doing
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster was on the list.
Okay, cool. So the fact that he was able to stop the ends of the worlds and stuff, it was pretty cool. And I know that he's a player. He's a gambler. It's all about a game for him. So that was interesting. What is he going to do? And so there's now a new arc where you got these two potential gamblers that are sort of deciding the fate of the universe, or two universes, the DC universe and the Marvel universe. And that's the next layer of story, which is kind of interesting that they're setting this up. And then there's at the very end, you got this sort of hint that the Grandmaster has even a secret plan that's even beyond it. So there's like all these like little story elements that they're setting up, which I think are pretty brilliant. Like that they're setting these all up. And the other thing that I really thought was cool was you get the situation where DC's Starro goes up against the Marvel Avengers, and I thought that was really cool. It was such an interesting character. How would the Marvel universe handle such a villain? And then the same goes for the DC Justice League. How are they going to deal with Terminus? This super powerful robot-y dude. So it's interesting that they kind of do that. And they also have a thing where, so the next layer I thought was interesting is they introduce both sets of teams to each other's universe. So DC characters get a look at the Marvel universe and say, hey, this is all screwed up. The Marvel characters get a look at the DC universe and say, oh, this is all screwed up in a different way. And they both, their leaders both get a really weird interpretation of what's actually happening. Almost to an extreme that even the other characters are like, why are you guys a little bit weird here? So,
I wouldn't call it the leaders necessarily, because I think Batman's actually the leader of the JLA, but Superman and Cap have this reputation of being the big, justice and
they were the ones. I feel like Superman was taking on the frontman role, and you can tell me I'm wrong on that, but I felt like he was the one that was in the.
Oh no, there's no argument about that part. I just the way the fight was, Batman was in the back doing the thinking and then directing everybody. That tells me that
Batman was doing. He spent the whole fucking comic thinking. So I don't know how correct Batman was.
Hey, between Cap and Superman, like if you take away their powers, they are the most similar.
Yeah,
like they're both they're symbols for America. They are very virtuous and bring like they believe in their fight deeply,
and they believe that they must fight injustice, whatever form it takes. So in the case of Cap, he felt like the heroes of the DC world were acting as, like entitled gods or whatever.
Almost like false idols and shit.
False idols, yeah, that's better. And Superman felt like the injustice was like just the treatment of the world itself. Like so much damage was being done.
They know.
Well, you look at it from DC's point of view. You're looking at the Marvel world. The humans definitely ain't as approving as they are in DC. Like they're like running off. That's the first thing they see is mutants getting chased and shit. So
honestly, you look at the difference. The word mutant seems to have a more sinister connotation in the word metahuman.
And hero comparatively, yeah. So I thought that was interesting that they set up all those dynamics. And they sort of leave Ant-Man as a character that is kind of like giving one extra little layer where he's seeing behind the scenes. He's sneaking behind the curtain to see what they're having.
You mean Adam?
Adam, I meant.
Yeah, there you go.
What did I say?
Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man. I meant the Adam. Okay, because he's the ripoff of Ant-Man. They're each other's ripoffs.
Yeah.
So the Atom. So basically I thought that all those layers were interesting. It's a very good setup story. And because it actually does try to do that. And a lot of the time, like when you're getting into these books, I find, when there's so many characters, it's actually really hard to know what's going on. And I felt like that wasn't the case in this. Even though they didn't explain all their powers, they didn't explain who these characters were. You could sense, okay, they're doing this. They're fighting good guys, bad guys. I felt like there was a reason for everything. Without being like one of the other books we read where they had to explain everything about the character, and then in order to so here's my scores with all that being said. Oh, one more thing I just wanted to mention. Did Batman beat up the Punisher?
Did Batman beat up the Punisher? I missed that part.
Batman beat up the Punisher.
I thought so. I was just checking because he kind of went off and
because the Punisher was trying to kill these drug dealers, and Batman.
He defended the drug dealers.
Batman doesn't like to see life. Period. He wants to protect all life.
Yes, I thought that was funny. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so my scores. I'm going to agree with D on a lot of this. So you're going to find that my scores and his are very similar. The cover for me was 3.5, but it's a wraparound, so it gets an extra 0.5 just for being a wraparound. So I give it a 4. The interior art, actually, I thought was quite good. Very, well done. Like really cool panels. Perez's art style, when it's zoomed in, is a bit cartoonish, but actually I didn't mind it, strangely enough. So I give it a 4 interior art. The story I thought was a really good setup. I give it a 4. And then overall a 4. So I'm basically like parodying D on this in terms of what I felt about the book.
Son of a bitch. I was
Well,
odd being out this week.
Ever since Perez did Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's just like that. And that's what I get a feeling a little bit on this book, from the art point of view. Like you got the star backgrounds, your different universes right off the bat. I'm like, oh, I hope this isn't a full rip off of Crisis. Like
it almost had a feeling of Crisis. By the way, I almost felt like it was going to
the
rip off
beginning
Crisis.
because of the we wrecked this universe. We wrecked this universe.
Yeah.
Very,
very Crisis. Yeah.
That's what I was doing. And even I would bet money, not having read, okay, D's probably going to laugh when I say this, but not having read the other 3 books, that hand that reaches out of the universe strikes me as the anti-monitor from Crisis. Because the whole point of Crisis started when Pariah was trying to see before the Big Bang, right? So like there's that part that feels like it's a little
but Crisis is early mid 80s, right? So
yes, this is long before this, but I mean
long after. Yeah.
Alan, I didn't get to hear your scores. Can you recap me real quick?
I gave the same scores you gave.
Oh, 4 across the board?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, we got a total of 65 for Matt, the mathematician. Let her rip, brother. I was just
number 4.
It's 4th.
Yeah,
we've been getting some good books. I didn't grade it horribly. I mean, let's see what my worst scores were 2.5s. The cover just
you just thought it was an average book, I would say.
A little better than average. My overall was 3. My inside art was 3.25. The cover was 2.5, and the story was 2.5. So the cover, I don't see the 4s in that, but I mean, you guys, I'm 3 against 1. I'm not man out. It just I thought someone else might give it a lower score, but
it comes out to 81.3%. It's number 4. Yeah. Wow. After Hunter Prey is number 1 still. FF52 is number 2. Captain America 1, number 3. The bottom 3 are still X-Force 25, Fantastic Four 353, and Excalibur 71.
All right. So the next person to pick a book is Alan.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with a Silver Age classic. We did a Golden Age classic last time with me, but I want to do a Silver Age classic, and it's a story that I've read, so I know that I like it. It's Flash 123.
Oh, that's a good one.
So I think it's a great story. It kind of like one of the things that I was actually debating about another book as well, but there was elements in this one that we just read that kind of made me feel like Flash 123 is a good one to read.
I've always boo-hooed that book. You're going to make me read it, then I'm going to want to buy it. Now, if you fucking turn me into make me want to buy it, you're going to piss me off.
It's a really great book. It's a really great story. So
that's the one with the 2 flashes on the cover, right?
Yep.
We're not going with the Wally West 1991 version of Flash.
It's the first appearance of like parallel worlds, right?
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, it is. That's why I said it kind of had that.
I read that. Yeah, I read that in a reprint years ago.
I've never read it. I always thought the cover was pretty good, but not as good as what everybody else thought it was. But maybe after I read it, I'll have a new appreciation for it. So I'm excited to check it out. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I actually I put that as one of my top 100 covers. actually.
Yeah, it made the list, didn't it?
Yeah, like
It did
so
make the list
when
because
I
we
was
saw it.
picking those top 100, iconic covers is part of it. It's artistic, but it's also iconic, and that something about seeing the two Flash is so iconic for me. I think that it had to be there.
It's one of Flash's best covers, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So Biggie,
I mean-
like what Alan just said is like one of the reasons why I think we gave this book such a high cover score. It's not just that the art is that fantastic.
Mhm.
It's also the fact that you have all these iconic characters
Yeah.
all on the same cover together.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh, the art is so perfect. It's a 4, it's 4.5, it's 4. No, it's also that it's so cool to see Captain America and Superman on the same cover.
On the same
And
And
I
it's not
noticed
Go ahead, Matt.
they didn't bring in Green Arrow. They could have done that with Hawkeye there.
I tell you the truth, if it wasn't important and didn't have the Marvel and DC characters, it probably would have got fucking 1 from me. Like, it's not that impressive to me, but that's fine.
Mhm.
Me giving it 2.5 was generous, I felt. So
yeah, I thought it was harsh.
fucking
Fucking
cover, man.
harsh. Fucking tough.
Those fucking wishbone neck ties on Superman just did not do it for me. But so we got about 10 minutes left. Let's talk about the top 100 while we got the crew here. So
Should
I am
open the sheet?
yeah, go for it. So I mean, we ain't gonna make no adjustments. We're just gonna talk about like theoretically what we're trying to do. So here's my idea. Everybody in the crew has equal power to this list. What I've been thinking is we got to separate our personal emotions from our decisions. We got to do what's best for the list. We want this list to be something and collector could look at or somebody could look at and be like, yes, this makes sense. So I'm not mad whenever if it's a book that someone don't understand, that's a great cover, and then they look into it and they're like, oh, that was interesting, that should be on the list. I'm not mad at something like that.
Mhm.
But if it's like a book that is just one of 10 books that is great art but don't have that significance and shit, then I'm just like, I don't know, so that's just my thoughts going into this. I don't know, what are y'all thinking?
I was thinking, as I said, it's a mixture for me. It's a mixture of iconic covers, and art, like the quality of the art.
But you get books like Phantom Lady 17 that are iconic because of the cover art.
But yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. That has to be on the list for me because
Exactly.
it's both
No, that-
iconic
that-
cover and it's like amazing art.
Yeah, the books that are known for being a great cover and that's the reason you buy it have to be on the list. Like, that's the number one
Yeah,
attribute to this.
We didn't even add anything from Crime Does Not Pay. I'm sure there are great
so
covers
Crime
for
Does
that.
Not Pay number, I think it's 25.
24.
Is one that is or I think it's 25.
Oh, okay, no, I'm wrong. I'm thinking of tells us our suspense stories. I'm sorry.
You know, Crime Does Not Pay 25. I'm pretty sure you can look it up, Matt. It's the
Okay.
one where the woman's head is being pushed onto a stove and her hair is on fire.
Crime Does Not Pay.
See, I like the Radiator cover too. Which one's that? I forget the cover.
That's Brenda Starr.
Brenda Starr, yeah.
To me, that should be on the list in way too, because I think it's a
No,
classic.
Crime Does Not Pay 25 has a bunch of guys with Tommy guns.
It's 26 then. It's in those earlier issues.
I like Gangsters and Guns #1, but should it be on the list? I don't know. I don't think so.
No,
Gangsters and
26.
Gun Malls.
Well, you know what? I'll look them up.
Just look at the list. It's in there. It's like it's in the early 20s.
I'm just gonna look at.
Yeah.
Crime Does
Not Pay
covers.
No, just go on to my comic shop and then go through the list.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
that's actually what gives it to me.
what do you? We're not going to make any changes to the list, but what do you think about, like, okay, here's a couple examples of books, right? We didn't bring up Dracula 1 Marvel Comics, but me personally, I think I like #2 better as a cover, but it's not as iconic.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some of that like you're right. I think there's so many really brilliant covers that even though they're brilliant covers, they shouldn't make the list because there's another one that's next to it that's more iconic or more in the mindsets of people. Like in a way, we have to have it where people actually know these things in a way.
Yeah, the first Werewolf by Night isn't as rememberable as Werewolf by Night 1. Like Werewolf by Night 1 is way more
Well,
recognizable to me.
well, I think Werewolf by Night, is it Marvel Special Edition or whatever it's from?
It's
Number
Marvel
24.
Special 2 or something.
Too, yeah.
It's number 24.
The cover being iconic
It's
is
24, Matt?
important.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what he said from the beginning, 24. What did you say, Indy?
Yeah. So
I was saying the cover being iconic is very important. Like
yeah.
it's not just about the beautiful cover art. Like if that's all it was, you could just take all the variant covers that Art Germ has done. Like
Yeah. Or an
Yeah.
Adam Hughes.
yeah, like but dude, like none of those, like a lot of those covers mean fucking nothing. So you
Exactly.
gotta go with a mixture of beautiful cover and it being relevant for comic books. Like they both factor in.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Chamber of Chills, for example, like, I have it right next to me. It's actually it's a great cover, but I there's covers that are actually better in terms of the artwork, but there's something so classy about this book that that it kind of transcends all of that. It's like, to me, the best pre-code horror cover of all time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So,
And she dies from throat cancer. Ooh.
yeah, exactly. But the point is, like, there's certain books like that you just have to say, wow, yeah, those, like Zombie Tramp #1 definitely should be on the list.
Well, I get into arguments about ASM 300. People were like, "Oh, that art sucks." Todd McFarlane didn't even like that cover. It's like, it don't change the fact that
It's super iconic.
Yeah, like every fucking comic collector regards it as one of the coolest
Neil
covers.
Adams hated Action 419, but it's still an
With
iconic
Superman breaking
Yeah,
the bond.
Yeah, where he's breaking the chain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's actually better versions of it too, but some reason that one is the most iconic of them.
Because it was first.
No, there's earlier. There's a golden age.
Oh yeah,
of books.
Superman, what, 7 or 9? They did it way the fuck back, didn't
Yeah.
they?
It was.
Yeah, but it wasn't
used to be
kryptonite.
the little thing that they would use in the
No, it wasn't
side.
Kryptonite. Yeah, the chains used to explode. Why is it whenever Superman breaks chains, they all the links explode instead of just a few break? It's so
Because
funny.
the sudden amount of energy he uses to do that.
It's like a shockwave. They all got a crack. Okay.
Exactly.
That's physics. Alan would know that. The transfer
Yeah,
of energy,
exactly.
heat is the byproduct.
So this is a hell of an ordeal we're going to face. So not this Friday, but the Friday after that will be the next stage in this. We already have a
I
monster
actually have an
list.
idea of how to kind of whittle down the list a bit,
Yeah.
and you might like this. So we got the list of maybe I think it's like 100 and some odd books. It's like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Like,
140 that's made the list so far that we got to work
so we got
on.
40 that don't belong there in theory, because we got to get it to 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we should do is pick people that defend each book.
Okay.
So, for example, I really like whatever book, Chamber of Chills. Okay,
Mhm.
I have to defend that against some other book, and then whoever wins the defense, their book stays on the list. The other one goes goodbye.
Were you a member of the debating society?
Yeah, I was actually. I was on the debating team.
I'm thinking like we go through the list. I mean, you could defend, or we could do it Alan's way too, but this is what I was originally thinking was we'll have 5 or 6 people on panel. 3 or 4 people say, I vouch for this book. That book gets a 4-star vouch. And then you got 3-star vouchers, and you got 2-star vouchers, and you got 1, and then we just whittle from there. Like if you only got a 1, you might not keep going.
Yeah, maybe if we all the ones, just if that that could just do it right there, basically, Biggie, where it could be the case that all the one, if there's 40 ones, then bye-bye, then we have our list.
Yeah, well, we got 140 books that we're going to debate if they're going to stay on the list. Then we got 80 more so far, I think, that we're going to see if can make the list. And there's going to be more than that too, I'm guessing. There's going to be more than, because I already know that that's not going to be the end of it.
This
But
might take us all year, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
going
fun thing. I think it's fun. I personally.
it's going to take at least
fun
3
to
or
debate
4
this.
episodes. The second episode, we're going to get started on getting rid of books though. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, so we spent about
So-
10 minutes.
You're
talking
cut.
about it.
You're cut. You're so cut.
Like
We'll
I'd
have-
actually even get rid of some of my Wonder Woman ones. The only reason I
what?
picked the one Wonder Woman that I did, the Boland cover, is they've actually made statues about that cover.
Right.
It's sort of an iconic cover. Is it the best Wonder Woman cover? No. You know, I actually like the one that I'm not sure who was it. Who that said it? The one with her in bondage. Was that you or who that?
Oh, who that brought it up? But that's a book
Who
that
Dat
I
brought it
talk about all the time. Yeah, he brought it up because
That's-
I love it so much.
That's
So,
to
yeah.
me a better cover,
Yeah, the
um,
Jeff Johns. Yeah,
but that's not an iconic cover. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's like
Uh,
a balance that needs to be there.
I think it's pretty iconic, bro. Like, especially for bronze, dude. That's a
Do
pretty
many
good
people
one.
know it? Do many people?
I
I don't
knew it
think so.
the first couple of years to start collecting. A lot of people that like are into. I think it's more well known than what we think it is. Maybe I love it a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Which cover are we talking about?
The brown one where it's got the guy with the
The axe.
Can I get a
is gonna
title?
chop
Can I get a title?
Wonder Woman 199.
All right, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I've showed it to you before. It's her
Is
in
it-
bondage and a guy with like a hatchet ready to chop her head off.
Yeah, so I love the cover. I actually like the one where she's attached to the bomb better. That's my birthday cover.
That's a good fucking one too. But 198 ain't bad either. The black cover, that's a good one too. That little area 198, 199. There's a couple good ones.
Yeah,
in there.
there's a bunch in that little
Oh,
series.
I would not put 199 in an iconic role.
You don't think
what
that's
I'm saying.
iconic?
It's not
Okay.
iconic.
I think
it's
it's
a
a
great
little-
cover, but not iconic.
It's very cool, but it's not iconic.
How many? I've showed you that book before, though, right, D?
No, but I'm telling you, like, if I were to think Wonder Woman covers, like, that's not popping up in my head.
Well, that's the
Oh.
first time you've seen it. I thought I've showed you that before. Actually, the first person showed it to me was 84, a long time ago. And I fell in love with
So
it instantly.
A couple of covers that I think are iconic that are modern ones would be Spider-Man 50.
Yeah,
And I
that
think-
one's definitely. That's probably gonna get a 4-star. I think everybody agreed on that.
Well,
I
the
don't think-
Gleason cover?
No, not Spider-Man 50. Not the one that you're thinking. Not the one where he's like
Kingpin,
walking away.
D.
Not the Kingpin one. No. not
No?
the Kingpin
Oh,
one.
you're talking about fucking Gleason?
Yeah.
Oh
That's what I
no,
said. I said Gleason. Like,
that's what D said, but I thought he meant Kingpin. I'm
No,
sorry.
I mean I
That
think
was-
the other 50 is better, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Gleason one is iconic too. It's a modern icon.
that might be a modern book that made it. See, I thought Venom 3, the first and all, was a good one, but nobody liked that. So I don't know.
no, I hate
Venom
that
3 is more classic
It's
than
not to
fucking
me. It's not that.
Gleason.
The
No,
other one that we do have on the list, and I'm not sure if it'll stay on the list, is the one with the Joker and all the Jock one.
oh, I know. Yeah, I
Oh,
think that
the
would make
bats.
it. 880. Yeah, I think that one will make it.
That one is so iconic that in the sense that the value of the book is based on the cover only. Why it's worth
Well, that's
money.
the same thing with the Gleason. What Alan's talking about. That's the only reason that book's important is because it's a book that people buy for the cover. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if we're gonna go that route, why don't we just use the J. Scott Campbell where she's in her jeans? Like, I
I was
mean,
debating about mentioning that one.
I mean,
but-
it's a cover book.
But it's not as iconic as the other two. So
We're
the
going to
point
have
is-
to get some modern representation. We really have to get at least 5 or 10 on there.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out.
But modern
Yeah.
sucks.
Modern
does
is
that
very
cause
hard.
A bit of a problem, or
I think right now,
100% golden age.
I don't
And
know. I
honorable
think that
mention
you could get a
to
good argument that something like this is modern and it looks pretty cool.
I mean,
yeah,
it looks
no, there
cool.
are some cool ones.
I'm not saying this one in particular. I'm just using the. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah, well, some of the what the hell's the guy's new Spears? Like some of those are
Mark Spears.
yeah, those are big right now. Like the Bride
Yeah, I
one,
mean his stuff's great.
the Black Lagoon. What's the best Black Lagoon cover? Could we get the first Black Lagoon from Archie on there? You know, like I don't know.
Well,
That's
there's got to
actually
be at
really
least 12 Peach Momoko covers on our list, right?
yeah,
Hopefully.
Peach Momoko.
Stephanie Hans, we need some of them.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what's funny? I like some Jenny Frison too. But
I know you do.
would it make
Prison's
the
got some
list?
great
No.
covers. Yeah.
What's her best one?
You know what's funny? I actually think her very first cover is the best one.
The fucking Voltron.
Not the Voltron one.
Oh, the
also
fucking
did,
Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz one. I really like the Wizard of Oz one.
Fuck. That don't even look like her art. It looks like someone
That's the
else's.
funny part about it. That's the funny part, that it doesn't look like her art at all.
That's hilarious. See, I think that's the best representation of Dracula. The LB Cole Dracula one. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah, no, it's a great cover.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the Draculas, that's my favorite.
Yeah, but
nobody knows it or cares about it.
that's the point. And that's why certain books should be dropped from the list for that reason. Like, even though we might love them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Wonder Woman 199 might not make it, even though I feel like it's the best Wonder Woman
and my
cover.
Wonder Woman choice of the one where is it Wonder Woman? What's the number? Where she's standing as a statue one.
Oh,
that one should be removed from the list too. I think, even though I was the one that recommended it.
Okay. I don't know what number that is.
There's ones that can be filtered out just by that kind of.
I think your point of the one with her on the bomb might be known as the most well-known one. Maybe? I don't know.
No, it's not well known, is my point. I don't think that many people know it.
The one with her on the bomb.
78? That's the one with her in the bomb?
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The one that I said on the list, Matt, was the one that they used to make a statue.
Oh, you're talking about the Bolin?
The Bolin. But the bomb one shouldn't be there either. I don't think either should be on the list.
Well, what's her most regarded cover?
Hey, boys, real quick. I gotta roll out of here.
All right, D, thanks, bro.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
I would say Wonder Woman 1.
Yeah.
Alan, you're referring to Wonder Woman Volume 272.
Yes.
Oh, with her on the bomb.
That's not her on the bomb. That's
her on the
shield with the shield.
Oh, with the shield. Oh,
her on the bomb. A bomb is 178, I think.
That's first series.
Okay, yeah. I like that one. I don't know, dude. I'm not. I'll just defer to you, Alan, on Wonder Woman. I do think Wonder Woman 1 probably is the most well known, though. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All-Star 8 should make the list too. All-Star 8 should try to make it, right?
Which one?
All-Star 8.
No, it shouldn't make the list.
It's not on the cover.
I know, but it's a good Spectre cover.
It's not a great cover. There's better.
You don't think it's a good cover?
No.
It's 6 guys looking over a thing with Starman and Dr. Midnight in it.
Yeah, it's not that great.
No.
I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but is it like the way I always try to keep my perspective on things is there's like almost between 2 and 3 million comics that have ever been produced,
and to try and find 100,
we're picking 100. That's really small odds.
So hopefully by the end of this, we can have some kind of like graphic illustration of 10 rows of 10, and we could have something to show everybody at the end. I don't know how we'll do that, but maybe I can find
and then we sell it as a poster and make millions of dollars.
We could do something with it.
People's off of
the Comic Collector Club's top 100 list, right? And you go to a website and look at
100 public domain books there.
How much does it cost to do that? Like, do I need a website to get my shit?
I'm just joking. You'd get sued out of oblivion.
Would I? Oh, because I'm using licensed stuff.
Yeah, Marvel.
So
and
what
DC are
what
the
what's
worst.
my options here? Because I do want to have a visual representation. Like,
Or no, you could do it like visually. Like I would just do it on Instagram, like show the
okay,
just do it
all
in
right,
Photoshop or whatever.
yeah. As long as I have pictures and you could scroll and look, that'd be fun for me.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we will be back with Flash 123. I like the way the numbers line up too, because
Yeah, it's fun.
it feels like it means something. 123.
Okay.
Hey, Joe Show, good to see you, my guy. We're about to wrap up, though. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. See y'all next time, dude.
Bye, guys.